39BF Rochester, the sports leader. 95.7 FM and AM 950 WGR Rochester, an Odyssey sports station. Welcome into the Sports Bar with Gene Battaglia, where the voice of the Rochester fan is heard. Pull up a stool and join us at 866-4326. This is WGR Rochester, and the Sports Bar with Gene Battaglia is on now.
2 hours of sports talk excellence here in the Flower City, where the sun is out, but it's under a thick cloudy haze. Welcome into the Sports Bar. Glad you joined us. Our number, 585-866-4326. We're on 95.7 FM, AM 950, always streaming for free inside the Odyssey app. If 1 to 3 Eastern time when we're airing live doesn't fit your schedule, you can always download the app and listen back to it at your convenience. That is where the world is headed, where we're going, everything on demand, certainly, in our show is no different. You can watch us on YouTube and Twitch. You can leave a comment there. And if you'd like to write to us, best way, we're on all the platforms, but the one I'm looking at, X, our handle at WGR Rochester. And today, for only the second time since June 25th, we have the whole team here. So our producer, Tim Schneider, wearing his Jays hat, we welcome in. And we welcome back from San Diego, the Dandalorian. Now, we kind of spoiled this yesterday because when you're in an airport these days, you don't get celebrity sightings too often. But before I get to your celebrity sighting from San Diego, dude, I've been to San Diego twice. It's a fantastic city.
It's gorgeous. Yeah. It's sunny, 85 every day, doesn't rain. It's just perfect weather. I mean, it's hard to complain about San Diego. Maybe the traffic.
No, you did not get to go to a Padre game.
No, I did.
But it was family stuff. So SeaWorld.
The zoo, just the beach, I'm with family, just walking around different parts of San Diego, just really gorgeous.
The zoo. What were your favorite animals in the zoo there, Dan?
Giraffes, elephants, the tigers, penguins.
Yeah, pull the mic a little closer to you.
Tim.
Tim the tiger, yeah. Well, for everyone, we talked about this yesterday. Because if I saw this guy in the airport, I don't think I would recognize him. But if he's the head coach of your favorite team, was that really Kevin?
It was.
Kevin O'Connell,
yes.
The head coach of the Vikings.
I was surprised. I'm not usually one who recognizes celebrities or coaches like that in general. I looked over, I'm like, the guy looks really familiar. Like, that's Kevin O'Connell, and I was surprised. And I've seen his family, and I saw his family there with him. So I did snap a picture, but. Yeah, so
so the family makes it kind of weird where you feel kind of sheepish if you let out a you don't say gold Vikings. What do you say? Skull. Yeah, skull. Yeah. If you did that, like you didn't even think of doing that. Skull.
No, because he was he was checking everything, getting his bags all checked in, and then he was heading over to wherever he was going, and I didn't want to bother him while he's on vacation, so I saw him, and Had he seen me, I would have said, "Hey, Kevin," but
hey, coach
yes,
is always
coach.
Yeah. That for anybody who ever sees a coach, you always address the coach as coach. That's where you. So like you said, like if you ran into Sean McDermott, I still would call him coach, right? To this point, whether you're a coach right now or you're a coach in waiting or you're a retired coach, you always have that label of coach. I get where you understand because I was going to come on and be critical of you, but then I remembered I kind of did the same thing, closer to home. So, of all places, I'm not in San Diego. I'm on Westridge Road, okay? And I see a celebrity sighting on Westridge Road. In Panera Bread on Westridge Road, of all places. And as I'm coming out, I'm sitting down, I'm like, huh? It's Brian Callahan. Yeah. So, New York Rangers, he was with the time. I mean, you know who he is. But he's got his family there. So I'm not going to be, okay, I'm not going to say, hey, we had you on the show once about, or hey, what do you think? No. Like, that to me is like the time when you don't go up to somebody, particularly if they're in the restaurant, but if they're in the airport and they're getting their luggage and everything else.
I think had we were crossing paths maybe and it was just him, I would have said, hey, how you doing? Everything. Maybe fanboy a little bit, but I didn't want to bother him.
Anybody else in your family Viking fans or your
my dad.
Was your dad with you?
Yeah.
And he didn't want to
No.
Did he? No. He didn't recognize him. It was you that said.
I recognize him. He had no idea, and I was surprised. I was like, that guy looks really familiar, and I'm just
Yeah, if you want to see the picture of Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell in the San Diego airport, because he's incognito. He's not totally incognito, but he's wearing the baseball cap and the sunglasses.
Yep.
And it would have been lost on me.
Sunglasses indoor is always a tell.
I guess. Yeah, that would be a tell. Maybe it's San Diego, like you said, Dan. It doesn't ever rain there.
No, it's sunny, gorgeous. I'm not gonna complain.
Yeah. The in and out. It's real quick. It's not Los Angeles where you've got 10 lanes of highway going each direction.
No, I mean there was some traffic on the highways, but no, it was
for a major city. It's
no,
not
it wasn't that bad. So yeah, I'd go back.
Yeah, definitely. Dan, thank you. It's good to have you back.
Thanks for having me back, guys.
Yeah, it's Dan. What? Okay, so takes on stuff. Have you been watching the World Cup?
I saw a little bit yesterday. I kind of anti-Argentina. Like I'm kind of sick. I was rooting for England at the end there.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'd rather see. I feel like you're getting the two top teams back, Spain and Argentina, like kind of two big names teams that are left. So it would have been cool to see it different.
Yeah, it's been that's been really kind of carrying us through here. So, Dan, thank you, buddy.
Of course,
appreciate that. Dan DeLorean, fine producer. Now, the funny thing about Dan is, for me, Tim, I would just kind of sit and hang out on the show, but he likes to work in his own place and listen in and just don't bother me. I'm working, kind of thing.
Regimented and ready to go, but he just walked out right when it was time.
Ow!
Oh,
Ow!
I see it.
It really hit me. I didn't know it was coming back that far.
All right, so the Sabres schedule is out, and just to try to digest this, the two dates we already knew, they open up at Columbus, earliest opener ever, October the 1st, and then the home opener, earliest home opener ever, against the Blackhawks in Bull Byram, October the 3rd. Well, the first thing that kind of jumps off the page to me is that game on October 3rd. That is the first game of a 5-game homestand. Minnesota, Dallas, Utah, Florida. They go to Montreal on October 13th, so that's an early visit there. Actually, they play – that's a weird – they go Montreal, Toronto, back to Montreal. They get the two road trips against the Canadiens out of the way early on. Huh. So if anybody wants to go see the Sabres up in Montreal, I would recommend that. That Saturday the 17th game is something. The West Coast swing, I like this too, Tim. That's in October, too. Get that out of the way. San Jose, Anaheim, Kings. The Kings, 4 o'clock on Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting.
Sandwiching Thanksgiving as well.
Yeah, and if you need points at the end, all right, I like this, too, where 4 of the last 5 games in April, the only games in April, 4 of the 5 are home. Home against Boston, up in Toronto, home against Tampa Bay, back home against Boston, home against Detroit. So in the final game of the regular season, April the 10th against Detroit, a team we don't figure would be competing. But as Dan DeLorean we were talking about this after, he's like, yeah, you may count Detroit and Ottawa out, but it's hockey. You could still be around. And he's like, yeah, you know what? You're right on that. Taking a look. Ooh, this is kind of favorable. Not only the Sabres home on the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, they're also home on Black Friday. So they take on the Rangers on the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, and then they're home against the Penguins on the 27th. Holiday time, that looks good too.
They've got an MLK Day game at home.
Yep. So the holiday week, Montreal the 18th, Kings on the 20th at home, Devils on a Saturday night, the 26th, and then Monday night hockey against Detroit on the 28th. Nothing on New Year's Eve. And you mentioned the MLK game, Montreal. That's fun. Yeah, that's kind of it in a nutshell. We don't have that big long break there in February. People will break this down further, and thank you, Tim, for pointing that out. That the Sabres schedule is out. Let's not kid ourselves. This does not have the same weight as the NFL schedule coming out. When the NFL schedule comes out, you look at how many primetime games you get. You look at, all right, the roads. One of you are playing our divisional opponents. And I suppose divisional opponents mean a little bit more in hockey, but it's the same when it comes to the conference, right, in terms of the wild card and everything.
I'd like to see the national TV schedule. I know that I don't need it necessarily for Sabres games, but for a hockey guy, I want to see what I can dive into on a random night during whatever day it may be. I want those national, those ESPN games, those TNT games. I want to see that schedule next.
Yeah, that I'm sure somebody will serve that up. And looking at 7 o'clock, like there are things that, let's say, a game against Ottawa on a Wednesday night, it's at 7:30. I don't know if they're doing that to pull in people here from Rochester. Or the Tuesday night, October 6th, Tuesday night, 6 o'clock, 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock at home against Minnesota. Okay, you're not putting a Tuesday night game at home at 8 o'clock unless it's for television. So that would be a tell right there, too. I always like looking at, all right, football season's over. Let's look at Sunday hockey. And this is bizarre, Tim. When the Super Bowl ends, the Sabres play 5 Sundays on the road. They do not have a Sunday home game.
Not a single home game.
Wow.
And maybe that's an omen for the Bills to dominate Sundays.
Well, or maybe not. So, yeah, you have games against Detroit, Ottawa, Minnesota, Islanders, and the Blues all on Sunday night, 9 o'clock in St. Louis. Thanks, NHL. That's not exactly friendly. So the Western Canadian trip, by the way, it's kind of similar last year, where I remember this because the line where the Sabres kind of turned the corner, that was December the 11th last year, was a game in Edmonton. Well, that West Coast Western Canadian swing, Edmonton, Calgary, Vancouver, Seattle, will be December 1st through the 6th. The Sabres back home December the 10th against Edmonton. Try to find the Winnipeg home game, Tim. I see Winnipeg January 24th at Winnipeg.
That's that Sunday roadie,
That's a Sunday. That is one of those Sunday roadies.
The January 4th at home, 7:30.
Monday night, 7:30. We're just kind of waiting. So Sabres schedule is out. And, all right, that's a lot of fun. We had some Amherst news today, too. Scott Mosier, Neil Conway, 2 assistant coaches. Mosier will handle, you would assume, special teams, as he did coming over from Vermont. Conway will handle the goalies. So Amherst season will be starting up right that same weekend as well. One of those rare days where, well, we had a guest and kind of fell apart. We'll schedule that, but we invite your calls at 585-866-4326. It might be the first show, Tim, where we've gone solo on the guests here. We're just you and I doing this solo.
We've got Dan, though. Dan's back. Dan is the guest of honor.
Dan is indeed the guest of honor. So it is the Major League Baseball All-Star break. And there are 2 things about Rochester, sports related, that I didn't know. And I'm going to guess you didn't know either, okay? So the first one, I got this sent to me today. I'm like, no, you're got to be kidding me. One of the things about golf is there's a lot of guys on the leaderboard, right? Guys that you may not be familiar with. Tim, have you ever heard of the name Alex Smalley?
I've heard of the name. If there's Rochester tie, I am unfamiliar with it.
Well, Alex Smalley right now, he started out today House of Fire, birding 4 of the first 5, and everybody's like, who is this guy? And then you look it up. Well, Alex Anthony Smalley is an American professional golfer who plays on the PGA Tour. He's 29 years old. Went to Wake Forest High School, Duke University. Grew up in North Carolina. Born in Rochester, New York.
There we go.
I have no idea how he went. So, I don't know. I'm throwing him into the Michael King category. I do the updates here for years and years. And when Michael King was ever starting a game for the Yankees, like as the opener or something, I'd always be like, and Rochester's Michael King. Michael King maybe, couldn't name 2 Rochester suburbs. Like if you were born here. Just like I was born in El Paso, Texas. Couldn't really tell you much about El Paso, Texas. Just happened to be where my father was stationed at the time, at Fort Bliss. But for Alex Smalley, okay, are we getting behind him right now? Top 5?
If it says Rochester, you have to, right? Andy's doing well, so of course we're going to latch on to him.
Yeah, Jackson Suber is your leader right now at the Open. So Suber at 5 under through the tournament. So we've got that. We got that to talk about. Here's the other Rochester thing I didn't know about. Maybe I'm just misinformed. So one of the fun things about the All-Star break was just seeing Ernie Clement.
Yeah.
And Ernie Clement's Rochesterian, a leading vote getter. Think about that. Now, Aaron Judge has been hurt, and some of the other stars But the idea that a country, Canada, they love Ernie Clement. And by the way, it's worthy for much of the season, batting above 300. Ernie Clement certainly worthy of not just being All-Star, but starting the All-Star game. Batting ninth, didn't quite like it, but whatever. You're there. It's an exhibition. And the world is starting to catch on to the story. By world, I mean, hey, it's not just a guy who's a flash in the pan. This guy actually has talent. He's an all-star. And who doesn't like a story? I'm not talking just from a Rochester standpoint. The story prints well anywhere. Somebody who just grinded his way, cut by a couple organizations, needed a chance in AAA, finally goes up and just slowly earns playing time. And you realize, my gosh, the guy is just improving day by day. You don't think Cleveland would love to have him back? You don't think the Athletics would love to have him back? Ernie Clement? Yeah. And maybe at the time he just wasn't ready for it. So it's a great story. And Ernie Clement did a sit-down with Jeff Passan. And now this is not news to us, right? Ernie Clement, he's one of us. He grew up a Bills fan. Hey, after the World Series, he went down and did the photo op thing with Josh Allen and the jersey exchange and everything. So Ernie, when we've had him on the show, just normal Rochester guy, right? Ernie Clement sat down with Jeff Passan, and boy, oh boy, did I feel really uneducated about my hometown.
Walk me through the tailgate.
It's so much fun. We have a great crew. Drinks flow pretty good. The beers are going. The wedges are going. That's a Rochester thing.
Oh, yeah. Can you tell people about the wedges who might not be familiar?
Yeah, a little vodka, a little Fresca, OJ in there. That's kind of a staple in Rochester. I'm more of a blue light guy, though. If I start drinking vodka at 8 a.m., it's going to be a bad day.
If you start drinking beer at 8 a.m.?
Yeah, it's going to be a great day.
It's going to be a delightful day.
Exactly.
All right, so he's having some fun there, and isn't that true for all of us? Like, you don't start with the hard stuff, right? Or if you do, it's going to be a long day. What is a wedge? It's a Rochester staple? What is he? Okay,
staple might not be the word.
Time out. I asked 7 people in the office, and I didn't tee them up, because if I ask for something that has multiple meanings, like what is a wedge, I asked everyone, what is a wedge? And they looked at me like, well, you're the sports guy, you should know. Like, a wedge is the golf club you use when you're in a sand trap. I'm like, no. Have you ever heard of the wedge of drink? They're like, no. So 7 times. Now I'm going to ask Tim Schneider. Now, the disclaimer here is, I'm older than Tim. I'm going to hazard a guess. If and I've spent a lot of time in bars. Has Tim Schneider spent more time in a bar in his lifetime than I have? That would be an interesting debate. So,
I'd confidently say yes, I have.
I would put my money on you too. All right, and again, I'm the guy who could sucker you into darts. That's a clue that I've spent too much time in my life in bars. That, oh, you want to play darts? Sure.
You've had a family the last 25 years,
but
though.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. But you don't lose the muscle memory on darts. Tim, have you ever heard of a wedge?
I have.
Okay.
I have.
What the hell is it?
Well,
he explains it.
Yeah,
there,
I didn't know that there was orange juice in it. I thought it was just like lemonade and a spirit of some sort. So I guess I wouldn't know. If you asked me how to make it, I guess my answer would be no. But I've had one before, and they're good.
What he's describing there in college, that was what we called a Big Daddy. Was
all right,
juice,
that's a hell of a name.
Yeah, orange juice, vodka, and Sprite. It's one of those college stories where, like, one of our buddies just goes up and, like, I'll have a Big Daddy, and where everybody's like, what is a Big Daddy? And then the bartender's like, I don't know what you're talking about. So it might have been just something that it's not a well-known drink, but here we call it a wedge. Like, this 585-866-4326. Play this again for me, because there is something, too, that Dan DeLorean pointed out in this clip. This was Jeff Passan talking to Ernie Clement about tailgating beverages of choice.
Walk me through the tailgate.
It's so much fun. We have a great crew. Drinks flow pretty good. The beers are going. The wedges are going. That's a Rochester thing.
Oh, yeah. Can you tell people about the wedges who might not be familiar?
Yeah, a little vodka, a little Fresca, OJ in there. That's kind of a staple in Rochester. I'm more of a blue light guy, though. If I start drinking vodka at 8 a.m., it's going to be a bad day.
If you start drinking beer at 8 a.m.?
Yeah, it's going to be a great day.
It's going to be a delightful
day. Exactly.
All right, so it's funny how things like this get reaction. You can hit us up on X at WGR Rochester. You can hit me up at my name, at Gene Battaglia. Mike writing in, Thursdays in Pittsford, best around. Okay, that kind of fits. All right. Ernie Clement.
That is where I've had mine as well.
Yeah, is Ernie
For the
Clement. He is a member at Oak Hill. The Jays don't play until tomorrow. They didn't play yesterday. I would think that Ernie Clement, golf addict that he is, snuck back into town and played at least one round at Oak Hill either yesterday or today, even with the air warnings right now.
If you can do it, you might as well do it, right?
Dan writing in, it's a girl drink for ex-ennial guys. Well, I don't know if we want to go there, Dan.
I'll drink girl drinks. They're tasty.
Jeff writing in, served at the finest country clubs in Rochester, Gene. Some of my regular playing partners always drink them after a round. Ernie runs around with the CC crowd at Pittsford Pub. Yeah, that's it. I just think that Ernie, like, people are going to be thinking we're this highfalutin town. Like, it's interesting. Like, I'm not the person that grew up in the country club kind of culture, but appreciate everybody writing in on that. More people breaking down the Sabres schedule. The Alex Tuck return will be March 18th. All right, so they're only going to have Washington come into town just once on that. So a lot of things to kind of digest there from the Sabres schedule. 585-866-4326. Let me pass on. I got thoughts on football. I've got thoughts on, well, football, as they call them on the other part of the country, as we have our final set. We did have one baseball note today. Chase Burns, Cincinnati Reds. Now, you may not know the name. He's got a really lively arm, right? 7 years, $105 million the Reds lock him up for. It's the largest guarantee to a pitcher with less than 4 years of service. Now, the cheapo Reds, and I say cheapo, I guess they try to make a run at their hometown guy, Kyle Schwarber, but in the end, Kyle Schwarber isn't going to give him that much of a hometown discount, and that's why he stays in Philadelphia. The Reds, a team that, all right, how do you plan for Ellie De La Cruz? Will he be a Cincinnati Red? This is all part of the discussion that the owners want you to believe that, hey, unless we get a salary cap, your favorite hometown star will be kind of gone. The Reds right now, in terms of where they stand, they're dead last of the NL Central. They're 15 games back. There's no hope in Cincinnati. So the question is, all right, why do this? Why give, you can say, a record contract when you don't need to do this for a guy that has less than 4 years of experience? Cincinnati, there are three teams that have worse records in the National League. Ready? The Giants, the Mets, and the Rockies.
Sorry.
The answer here is simple, that Cincinnati, one way or another, the players may not get their wish in terms of, all right, a salary cap, but the thing that they're going to fight like heck, and that both sides should agree on, the teams that are at the floor need to spend more. That seems like common ground. Like, if I'm a negotiator, right, you try to find common ground between the two parties. So for teams like Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Florida, Miami, whatever they call themselves, like these teams that are not spending to the line, get them to spend to the line. This is Cincinnati getting ahead of it. And rather than go and spending money on somebody later on, let's at least send our fan base a message that, all right, we're going to try to keep our guys around here. And if the Reds in 2027 have to spend money anyways, well, then this probably is good business, even though it's not risky business to pay a pitcher this much money. It is flat out going to bite you at some point. Like, name me the pitcher that doesn't get hurt in baseball. It doesn't get shut down at some point. Chase Burns has an arm. He's really, really good. He could be on a track to be one of the best in baseball.
I'll say he cost himself a lot of money by taking this deal by not extending through the arbitration years, but this protects him through those years if he gets hurt. Like, it's a great move on both sides.
It's a tough thing because I don't know his situation. If somebody's putting that money out there, right, if he had waited 2 more years, sure. But then somebody is probably pointing out to him, like, you wait 2 more years, buddy. But then if you blow your arm out next year, then it's nothing.
It saves him until he's 30. He's 11-1 on a last place team. I mean, what more can you ask for from this guy if you're the Reds? So sign him up, hold on to him, and if he doesn't pan out, you didn't cost yourself a whole lot of money.
We've got the Sabres schedule out. We've got the World Cup final set. I'm going to make a prediction next as far as what's going to happen today. I don't have any inside knowledge on this, okay? But there's an athlete that we've been following a long, long time that's got a little Aaron Rodgers in him. I'll get to that. My name is Gene Battaglia. This is WGR Rochester.
Sports Update.
Sabres schedule is out after that Chicago game to open. There are 4 more straight home games. The Sabres home the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, also on Black Friday. The Rangers and Pittsburgh, the respective opponents. Scott Mosier and Neil Conway, the new assistant coaches for the Rochester Americans. Conway will coach goalies. Marty Baron on Sabres Live today giving us more on Mosier.
But he definitely has worked in a lot of different roles and capacity at the youth level, college level, international level. So he brings in a lot of experience. And this is going to be, from my personal view, a really good fit with what is Michael Leone and Nathan Page's group.
There's one game in the majors tonight. The Mets playing in Philadelphia against the Phillies. The Rochester Red Wings back home tomorrow. Gene Battaglia, the sports leader, WGR Rochester.
Rochester's home for live sports and the best sports talk anywhere. The Sports Bar with Gene Battaglia, 95.7 FM and AM 950 WGR, Rochester.
I think most of us have had the same experience with AI where it's useful, but boy, oh boy, you got to use your own head. Like, common sense would tell you, no, that's not right. The heck is this going to be? I suppose we'll get to a point where those little blips and everything, they'll be ironed out. I'll give you one recent example. I don't know if it was AI or what the heck happened here with this, but this was from last week where I just have to pull this up here. Forgive me. I should have had this ready to go, but I was just kind of concerned about the update. Welcome back to the Sports Bar. Gene Battaglia with you. Tim Schneider, our fine producer, along with Dan DeLorean. You can give us a call, the Good Smoke Barbecue and Pub Wingman line at 585-866-4326. Award-winning barbecue from Good Smoke Barbecue and Pub, 135 West Commercial Street, East Rochester, goodsmokebbq.com. The Buffalo News has a separate Twitter feed for Bills kind of news and flashes, and what that X feed is designed to do is, hey, we've got some Bills content here. Go and read the article, and then 99% of the time it's behind a paywall, and then we kind of know that's it. This would have been the article I would have paid for. Ready? This was last week. The Buffalo News' Tim Graham sat down with O.J. Simpson during an exclusive interview earlier this week at Simpson's home in Las Vegas. Here are photos of Simpson through the years. Hold on. Okay, the time that tweet went out last Friday, July the 10th, and Graham, just the snarky comedic value of Tim Graham, just retweets that and says, "Big if true." Yeah, that would be really, really big. Back from the dead, it's OJ. I'm Tim Graham. OJ, have you learned anything in the afterlife? Like, what are we doing? How does that even happen? How does that happen? Number one, Tim Graham doesn't work for the Buffalo News. He hasn't in decades, right? He works for The Athletic. Like, he sat down at Simpson's home in Las Vegas. Wow, earlier this week. I'm just assuming that's something stupid AI related because OJ, same thing on Friday, was in the news because there was some wannabe congressman, and I'm saying wannabe because either you are or you aren't. And if you aren't, you're a wannabe. And the wannabe congressperson was lobbying to get OJ's name on the Wall of Fame. Wow, that's going to really, really galvanize your possible constituents. Like, wow, you know what? We got to vote for you. You're right on that. No, not at all. It was just in it. The point is that was kind of AI generated. And is this the same thing today with ESPN? Now, my prediction today is, as I mentioned going into break, if there's one athlete today that we can comp to Aaron Rodgers, and I'm not talking about like an old quarterback or somebody like, it's somebody that, hey, I know all about the news cycle and this will benefit my brand. And Rodgers for years kind of did that, but since he kind of understands that, hey, you're out of options, either you're with the Steelers or not, we didn't have to go through all that nonsense. And I'm sorry, Pittsburgh, I apologize for you and to have him back. You're not going to win anything seriously. Oh, sure, you might win a few games. Maybe you even make the playoffs. Maybe you have an exciting win over the Ravens with Aaron Rodgers as the quarterback. You're doomed ultimately. you're doomed. In a conference with Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, not to mention the MVP favorite, Josh Allen, you're not going anywhere with Aaron Rodgers. Now, when it comes to LeBron James, if he picks the right spot, and there have been only 3 guys in the history of the NBA that have won a championship 40 years or older. So LeBron trying to do something, and LeBron hasn't won since the bubble year with the Lakers. So you could say, all right, he's taking his time to make sure he wants to go. And I would just kind of say this. LeBron knows where he wants to go. Go back to the last time he joined the Lakers. It was within hours. Boom. July 1st, he's a Laker. 1 week after the decision, that was July 8th. Boom. He's back in Miami. I think it's like the 10th or somewhere around there when he went back to Cleveland after that. So this is the 4th time we've had to deal with LeBron James and a decision. And is it a fact that he doesn't know where he wants to go? Is it the fact that he knows where he wants to go, but he's not getting the offer he likes? Or possibly is it this? Or I could give you even a third option that, hey, I'd like to go here, but we need another domino or something else to get moved to clear the way so I get paid more. Tim's nodding his head to that. I think it's option 4 here. Like LeBron legitimately has people want to win the news cycle. That he's had these offers, how long? There's no other way other than, I don't know. I don't see LeBron going to Toronto and you want to like wait for the Kawhi deal to become official. I don't see that happening. But back to all right, did ESPN really have a story here, or is this just AI slop? Because I didn't even know this, because everybody has a podcast, right? Some are good, some are eh. But one show I respect is certainly PTI. Tony Kornheiser and Michael Wilbon, they've been doing it longer than anybody on television, right, in that format. And they also have a podcast. Had no idea that they had a podcast until today, because Wilbon not in, Frank Isola filling in. And in today's episode of the PTI podcast, here is the label. Today, Steph Curry behind LeBron's stunning Warriors decision. Okay.
What did we miss?
What do we miss? Like, what? And so instantly people will automatically think ESPN has the story and they accidentally leaked it. I don't believe that to be the case. I'm sorry. I think that Steph Curry and LeBron, that would be kind of interesting, would it not be? Would the NBA kind of love that, to kind of just, all right, maybe one last run here for the Warriors? Like for like this time last year, we were thinking that would be the landing spot for Antetokounmpo until it wasn't, right? Do you remember that? Antetokounmpo was at, Lake of the Owners All-Star party, and like, okay, that looks like a conflict of interest. They're trying to line something up. Well, getting Antetokounmpo in Miami is not a bad thing. LeBron, today would be the day if you want everybody just to get down on bent knee and talk about your greatness and how much we respect you and how much you meant to the league. Because let me tell you something, LeBron, if this kind of drags on, well, we got the World Cup coming up Sunday. Don't do it Sunday. Don't do it on a Friday in the summertime either. Doing it on a Friday doesn't do you any favors either. And then beginning the end of next week, we have NFL camps opening up. And the week after that, we are full-blown camp mode. So to me, on a day where there's no Major League Baseball, Gene, the Mets and Phillies are playing tonight. Okay,
no Major League
Baseball tonight. That's kind of funny, right? Like, I'm sure, like, when oh, my goodness, this will be a great game. Like, 2 contenders in the NL East. There is no flex scheduling in Major League Baseball. Sorry.
It's
everyone.
on ESPN, and if LeBron were to do it during the game, that would be the headline, and it would supersede the game itself. It would be on the bottom 4th of the screen, and it would say LeBron announces whatever, and it would take over the game itself.
Well, I see. I'd like to know, like, when, like, what time of day did LeBron drop things? Well, I remember vividly Not many two things I remember vividly, but I remember that primetime special with Jim Gray at the Boys and Girls Club in Connecticut. And, okay, LeBron, what are you doing? I'm taking my talents to South Beach. Whoa. Yeah, that was in prime time. I remember the Lakers thing. Now, this I'm not as clear on, but I want to say that was late afternoon. And, again, that was right off the bat. Free agency opening up, bam, decision made. Wow. And you could say, I will contend the Lakers brand bigger than LeBron's brand. So basically the Lakers like, hey, you want to come here? Okay, you know what? We got to announce this right away. We'll see what else we can kind of help on. LeBron is not in that position anymore. Like, LeBron is not the Pied Piper. He's not going to be like any remaining free agent. Oh, I want to go play with LeBron. No, it would have happened already. Now, it's funny, all the odds where LeBron, where he might end up, like Cleveland's still right at the top.
Fanatics Fest is happening right now, and he's there. So it's happening.
It's happening. That would be a perfect time. So the futures market right now, which is kind of crazy. Golden State as a result of this. And Tim, this is my cynical mind. Like, there are people out there, if you were in a position to put out a false headline, this is why you got to be careful if you're a news organization like ESPN. That is a false headline. Steph Curry behind LeBron's stunning Warriors decision, why is that labeled that way? I would ask Tony Kornheiser that question right now, because Golden State, and again, you cannot bet on this, but there are futures markets, and look, we can go down that path. I'm not going to.
Yeah,
why that
insider trading legally.
Yeah, exactly. Where Cleveland was a clear favorite, and now they're not. Cleveland opened today on the, I won't give the company's name, 39%. Down to 36%. Golden State has gone up 5 points. Beginning today, 30% up to 35. What, based on the one headline?
I have it updated even sooner. 5 minutes ago, it was another update. Golden State up from 30 to 39.
Oh, so, like, as we're talking about this right now.
Cleveland down from 39 to 34. Philadelphia down from 15 to 13. Miami down from 13 to 10. And then Minnesota no change at 4%, which is... I mean, they're not going anywhere.
See, this is a story because of all people, like Tony Kornheiser, Washington Post, right? Journalism with a capital J. We need to point this out. In that podcast he does with Ayasola today, nowhere does he say in that podcast that LeBron James is going to be a Golden State Warrior. So why are you labeling it as such? Do you really need the clicks that bad?
It worked. I'll tell you that.
It sure as hell worked. But I'm just wondering, Tim, like, if we just dug a little deeper on this is my cynical mind, that if somebody really had the inside info that he's going back to Cleveland, and I think sentimentally, like, we want to see, I don't want to see him in Philadelphia. I don't want him in New York. I'm sorry. We won without you. Don't need you, LeBron. You go to Cleveland. That was a team that, all right, did not work with James Harden, but could LeBron somehow galvanize that team? I was stunned as anyone that the Cavs couldn't give the Knicks anything that serious, that you just fell apart. Is it somebody with knowledge that LeBron is making that decision in Cleveland, and somehow that's how that Golden State headline reads?
It's very curious, and it makes it these betting markets or whatever you call them, the stock exchange, but not stock market predictions. I think it's illegally called. I don't know. Whatever it is, it's a little bit of a scam, and it makes this very dangerous because somebody somewhere knows something about everything, and you can place money on all these things now.
Well, like, who's to say, like, my gosh, like, for LeBron, if he wants to do one of his guys a solid, I mean, this is why we, like...
It's a dicey situation.
I am not, granted, I am not the one that says, oh, we need more regulation and we need more, but, like, you can see how you could easily...
You can manipulate these markets.
If you have knowledge, you can make a fortune. Like, and it literally is inside trading. That's okay. It's okay. And I'm looking at the bar graph here for this, Tim. It's like Golden State. Boing.
Yeah.
Based on one AI nonsense headline. It's not quite like Tim Graham sat down with O.J. Simpson last week. Really? Wow, I would love to see that.
An ashy day in South Buffalo.
Something's wrong with our censor here, too. If I said O.J. Simpson, like
We're
O.J.
gonna.
Simpson, like nothing? No Uncle Juice? No nothing?
Oh yes, I apologize. I'm new here.
You got it, Juice. When Chris and I broke up, the Juice was there for me every night. It's like he's not really the Juice anymore. We gotta get you dressed, Juice. Juice, a will? Juice. Come on, Juice. Juice! Juice, it's AC. Juice! AC's here! Juice, I heard Juice. It's on every channel. You know I feel the same, Juice. You're gonna tell them yourself, Juice. Juice, your whole family's here, Juice. She's on the house phone waiting to talk to you, Juice. Juice. Okay, Juice? Okay, Juice, we're good to go. You're home, Juice. You know Uncle Juice, and your Uncle Juice is a good man. He's never gonna stop being the Juice. It could explain a lot, Juice. Just hear him out, Juice. He's right, Juice. Listen, Juice. Juice, this is your life. Juice, please, Juice. Juice, we need an answer.
That is every instance of David Schwimmer and the People versus OJ saying the word juice, which to this day, this is why typecasting can be a dangerous thing. Like if you watch the show Friends, that's just Ross. I hear Ross Ross saying juice over and over and over again. Okay, so do we get LeBron James's decision today? Do we get it before we go off the air? I'm gonna subscribe to your theory, Tim. That not only do we have it, well, I'm saying we'll have it today, but Tim narrowed it down. Like you want the headlines tonight. Like, yeah, this would be something 4 or 5 o'clock today. LeBron back to the Cavs. Let's make this happen. Somebody's making a lot of money with these prediction markets by floating this Warrior story out there.
And I'll say it won't be the Warriors.
Yeah, I think that's
so somebody's going to lose a lot of money, or
right.
They'll go against it. And
right, they're seeing this like, okay, no, I think you and I see it for what it is. 585-866-4326. We've got Tim's terrible take of the day. I've got some soccer thoughts. We can talk a little Bills football as well. And since hour 2 is wide open for you today, give us a call, 585-866-4326. Gene Battaglia here. This is WGR Rochester.
Chaser. You're in the Sports Bar with Gene Battaglia on the Sports Leader. 95.7 FM and AM 950 WGR, Rochester.
You know, I talk about fortuitous timing. We're just talking about LeBron James. No, he didn't announce where he's going, but this... Tim, you just brought up the Fanatics Fest thing. So, Fanatics Fest, New York City, it's become a really, really big thing. If you're into collecting, if you're just into, being around stars, that sort of thing, it's kind of something that pops up on the calendar. The Javits Center, which is on the Lower West Side, is the place where they hold this thing, right? And so LeBron is there. And LeBron, like a lot of athletes, has a podcast. The name of his podcast is Mind the Game. So LeBron is at Fanatics Fest doing his podcast. Now, I don't know if this is in front of a live studio audience or he's just kind of doing it there where then it was going to go over and sign some autographs. I have no idea the setup there. But this is what happened. And I could understand maybe why LeBron might kind of be peeved because this is his podcast, right? And if he is inviting on a guest, when the guest turns around and then puts you on the hot seat, okay, that's a little different. So LeBron invited on Tyrese Halliburton. Tyrese Halliburton, who, hey, you may be a Knicks fan, but we can all kind of agree the game will be better with him back on the court this year, fully healthy for the Pacers, right? So Tyrese Halliburton, guest on LeBron James's podcast at Fanatics Fest. Halliburton, then in the podcast, asked James the question about free agent, where is he going to play? And then LeBron, and this is live, didn't we already talk about this in the back?
Oh, boy.
Leave it alone. Wow. Oh, I'm surprised. Okay, so translation. Tyrese, thanks for coming down. I appreciate you coming down. Hey, when we go on here, just know, do not ask me. We're not going to be talking about where I'm going to be playing, okay? And then you go on live and you do the one thing you were asked not to do. Okay. Part of me respects the hell out of Tyrese Halliburton. And Tyrese Halliburton, if you are auditioning someday to do this, like for whatever platform, and whatever platform will be whenever you're done playing 10, 15 years from now, and believe me, there are guys that you could go take the job from. The guy Perkins on ESPN, I'm like, how does that guy still have a job? He's on my TV all the time just blabbering about something, okay? No, we need guys who actually did something really important in this league, not you. And if you're going to be on TV, give us something. Well, Halliburton's trying to give you something. At least he kind of pushed the story forward a little bit. There is no way LeBron was going, like LeBron Incorporated, right? This is a big business, right? When he's ready for the decision, all the sponsors, the new team, everything will be ready to go, including, the team printing up the new jerseys, whatever, with the number or whatever it is.
This is starting to feel a lot like what Tom Brady and Adam Schefter had. Like, it wanted to be on Tom Brady's terms only, and then yesterday the Warriors headline comes out, which is not real. And then Halliburton kind of forcing the issue. LeBron maybe intended to do something today, and now he can't out of spite because they keep asking about it.
Right. So now, my prediction, I'm feeling a little sheepish about it. Wait a second. LeBron wouldn't have gone there unless this is going to happen a long time. Okay.
In this day and age, there's a little bit of wrestling in everything now, so maybe that was forced conversation as well. I don't know what to believe.
I don't either. But leave it alone.
I'm all in on it, but I don't know what to believe.
Yeah, didn't we already talk about this? And again, I it's hard to kind of read LeBron sometimes. Is he just kind of joking? I'm guessing he's not. So good on Tyrese Halliburton to at least try to get him to answer the question. We've got things we haven't gotten to. That's poor English. What do we got, Tim?
I've got the audio of it if you want to actually hear
absolutely.
the
okay, so
quote of them.
Let's do that before we go to break. This is LeBron James today, Fanatics Fest on the Mind Your Game podcast.
Oh, this in the back. It's where you see. Okay, my fault. I didn't know if you want to do this. Okay, I'll leave it alone. You know, me and my homies.
Okay, so that's
It's a little more kind, but
no. That sounds Halliburton backtracking really, really fast. Okay, I'll leave it alone. Yeah, that's that was not a wrestling setup. That was Halliburton trying to break the story there, and LeBron was having none of it. 585-866-4326. Hour 2 coming your way next here. My name is Gene Battaglia. This is WGR Rochester.
WBEE HD2 Rochester and everywhere you go at WGR Rochester. The sports leader. 95.7 FM and AM 950 WGR Rochester. An Odyssey sports station. WGR Rochester. Sports Update.
Sabres schedule is out. Buffalo to have 5 straight home games in October. The team will also be home the day after Christmas against Detroit. Scott Mosier, Neil Conway, the 2 new assistants for the Rochester Americans. Mosier comes from the University of Vermont. Conway will coach goalies. Marty Baron on Sabres Live giving us more.
For Conway, I mean, this is having a goalie coach in Rochester every day to work with, the prospects. And maybe you got a couple of young guys in Ratzlaff and Tobias Lennon, and that were kind of pushed in as a role last year at Rochester at some point. Maybe you got to surround them with somebody there every day. That's what this role is going to be all about.
Second half of the Major League Baseball season begins tonight. Only one game, though. Mets playing in Philadelphia against the Phillies. Rochester Red Wings back home tomorrow night, taking on Jacksonville. Gene Battaglin, the sports leader, 95.7 FM, AM 950, WGR Rochester.
Pull up a chair, stay for a while. You're in the sports bar on WGR. Grab a drink, hang your coat, get sports talk. Live from Western New York. It's a master show. 9 times better than your typical host. 9 times. Gene and Tim have things much hotter than most. No one cares when you're out. Sabres, Bills, Americans, Red Wings, and Nighthawks. Sports bar for Rochester Sports Talk.
Hour number 2 here in the Sports Bar. You found us here from the downtown studios here, High Falls District in Rochester. My name is Gene Battaglin, where the sun is out through a thick cloud of smoke. It's disgusting outside. Thank you, Canada. Hopefully everything will clear out for the weekend. Time for your calls this hour, 585-866-4326. Sometimes in the Sports Bar, we only spot trends. We jump on stories, and then all of a sudden, hey, out watching the monitors here, everybody jumping on LeBron speaking today at Fanatics Fest, and we're wondering, okay, what is happening here going into week number 2 of his free agency? And this all kind of started with all right, is this AI slop on the PTI podcast today? Tony Kornheiser, right? The headline of the podcast is Steph Curry behind LeBron's stunning Warriors decision. Okay, nowhere in that podcast, I did not listen to it. I'm just trusting people are correct on this. Did Tony Kornheiser actually say this, right? And if I'm Tony Kornheiser, somebody who comes from the journalistic background, aren't you like picking up the phone and saying, why are we putting that on there? And I just kind of brought up the question, is this somebody doing this to manipulate a futures market? And that has absolutely happened today, where Golden State has all of a sudden, depending on which future market you want to go to. Again, this isn't betting. This is a different kind of way to look at things. Golden State has become the favorite for whatever reason that is. And I brought up in my example about AI slop that ridiculous headline from the Buffalo News last week that somehow had Tim Graham, who doesn't work for the Buffalo News, works for The Athletic, that Tim Graham sat down last week with O.J. Simpson, who's been dead now for 2 years. And then I'm saying O.J. Simpson repeatedly.
I got it this time.
Got it, Juice. When Chris and I broke up, the Juice was
didn't
No. Greg writing in, he is disappointed in you, Tim. I'm slightly disappointed in the Juice miss.
Tried to fix it.
Gene, reprimand is mandatory. Maybe an AI spanking. No, you Tim, you.
I was there. I was ready this time, and I was told no. I never know when to do it.
No. You should be like, listen. These are the rules of the Sports Bar. Like this is.
Please don't hurt me.
This is the Insider Club. Yeah, the smoke has filled your brain, Tim. That is for sure. My gosh, we haven't even talked about soccer yet. We will get to that. We will get to some news and notes from around the NFL. As let's be honest, that's really the main course that everybody's waiting for next week. And time for your calls here, 585-866-4326. No guests this hour, so you want to talk sports with us, you can hit us up on X, at WGR Rochester. You can leave a comment for everybody watching on YouTube and Twitch. Gene Battaglin, Tim Schneider. This is Tim's now domain, his take of the day.
It's now time for Terrible Time Timmy's Terrible Take of the
been thinking this for a long time, and I was really thinking about it as we enter the semifinals, just based on the 4 teams that entered into the semifinals of this FIFA World Cup that is finally concluding on Sunday after a month of soccer excellence here in the United States of America and Smoky Canada and Mexico. But we talked about this weeks ago with the corruption of FIFA. And I think that now, based on the results of these games and how we got there, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but if you want to convince me that there is corruption so deep into FIFA that the games are maybe not the result, or the results are predetermined, maybe not the games, but I am all in now because the only teams that these guys actually did not defeat was Cape Verde. Nobody's even heard of Cape Verde, including people that live next to Cape Verde, which I don't know what those countries are. But Argentina coming from behind in the final moments against England, who has not ever won a war in the United States of America, and struggling with Cape Verde. They were losing to England. That's fine. That makes sense. It's allowed. But they basically smoked everybody else. They beat Cape Verde 3-2. What if they smoked, or what if they choked that game away? That could not happen. It's FIFA. Then the very next game, we've got we watched it here together, the Egypt game. You mean to tell me there was no controversy there? Then Switzerland kind of ruffled the feathers of FIFA by winning a game that they probably weren't supposed to. And then they come to this, and in the final 5 minutes,
Tim, stop. I'm gonna of all your takes, this one is the most misguided. There is no fixing. For
it's
Argentina.
FIFA.
No, it's not.
It's what FIFA wants.
This is a garbage take.
No.
It is a complete garbage. Your favorite sport is fixed. This is fixed. It's fixed for Kansas City. It's fixed for everything. Okay, Cape Verde has this great goaltender, and they were a fun story, and they made a hell of a play in stoppage time just to get that to 2-2, right? So that was one thing. I want to say Egypt folded. That was more Egypt just wilting, and then one call goes against them. Argentina was the better team against the Swiss, and the Swiss guy flopping. All right, well, that's your second yellow. Sorry, you're shorthanded the rest of the game. The only thing I'll listen to is, all right, yes, a lot of things are going their own way. They are the Kansas City Chiefs. Lionel Messi is Patrick Mahomes, right? He's great. You could say he's the best in the game today. And, all right, things are happening because he's making plays. Here's where the story's going to fall short. Ready? Spain wins on Sunday. That's my take. Spain, the defense, they just took apart France like it was nothing.
And when they don't, can we come back to this and say FIFA got what they wanted?
No, look, you're twisting two things. One, FIFA is corrupt. FIFA, hey, there are a lot of things. And, if we go back to, this is how long the tournament is. It feels like old news now, but this happened in the same tournament. Hey, here's a star for the United States. Red card. Okay, sorry. Well, overturned. That's the first time since the 60s that's happened, right? It was to our benefit. I'm not complaining, but I could understand why others might be complaining and say, what the hell? Why don't we have a process for these things? This is just kind of a silly sidebar, but when the NFL does their broadcast contracts, there's some little quirky things in there. One being that particular owners can request certain things. So whenever you watch a New England Patriot game, it's mandated that at some point the network covering the game has to cut away to Robert Kraft. That is absolutely true. Ken Belson, who has had a book out, we had him on. I'm reading that. I'm like, you're kidding. That guy's ego is that big that, and if you think about it, yeah, next time you watch a Patriot game, there will be Robert Kraft, and he's sitting there next to John Bon Jovi or whatever he is, or even if it's simple as, hey, touchdown New England, and they'll cut away to Robert Kraft, and it all goes back to one time Robert Kraft wasn't shown, and he got really, really upset. I'm only bringing this up because the World Cup is the same way. If you've noticed, every World Cup thing, they show somebody in a suit sitting angrily, and I don't know who the president is, I don't know who this is, but the dignitaries must be shown every single game. So on Sunday, you will have, in addition to the president, assuming he still goes to this, you will have whoever the head of FIFA is. That'll be shown. And to me, I'm not going to let Tim, the point is this World Cup has been fantastic.
I've been highly entertained, but that's what FIFA wanted it too. They got what they wanted.
You can't tell me that yesterday's game was fixed. I've seen the meme from English soccer fans that have somehow doctored a picture making him look like Sean McDermott, which that's, you guys are up on your U.S. sports here. 13 seconds, I don't know. Like, don't go into a shell like England did yesterday. Like, each one of these games, you can point to the opponent crumbling. Now, Cape Verde, they were way over their skis. That was just an unbelievable performance. Okay, that was awesome. They got that to stoppage time, right?
They tied both of these teams. That's crazy.
Egypt crumbled. Egypt had one call go against them, and where you've got to be above it, their coaching staff couldn't recognize what was happening. I mean, it was unbelievable to watch that in real time. And then same thing yesterday where, hey, it's Argentina. Don't count them out. Don't count them out. And sure enough, they pulled it out. Could you have asked for anything better, barring the United States actually being in the final? I'm saying, like, for the drama, for everything else, U.S. aside, it's been great. But yet you're the only one that's saying this is fixed, this is wrong.
I am not the only one.
Oh, come on. Okay.
The entire country of Egypt is certainly still saying it.
Okay.
That is sure.
Okay, I'll give you that point. So Tim in Egypt.
And another thing is the third place game, which I am surprised that they do. Highly compelling. It just doesn't mean anything. Why are they doing it?
I was going to get to this. Yeah. Like, this is even before my time, but the Final Four. Can you imagine, like, the Final Four, men's basketball? There was actually a consolation game for third place. Like, this is going to be for the bronze medal. I understand it from the Olympic standpoint that, hey, we got to give somebody the bronze medal. But is there a worse anticlimactic? Look up the ticket prices for France, England.
England, $6.97.
That's crazy. That's silly for a game that will be not even a trivia question that no one will remember. That's why they do it, because, my gosh, you're just raking this money in. You have people that plan their vacation. Hey, we're going to go over there and we're going to watch, the semifinal, and then we're either going. Where is the semifinal? The consolation game.
The consolation is in Miami, and the final, obviously, in New Jersey. There.
Well, so in Miami. Good for them that everybody's going to be going down there, and good on FIFA that you want to talk about corrupt. That's corrupt. That's meaningless. But yet, people coming into the country. All right, you're not going to go back soon. Let's go down to Miami and watch this
and spend another $800.
Yeah, it is once of a lifetime.
The tickets must be crazy on Sunday because they're not even listed on ESPN.
Oh no, I've got them.
I can't find them.
Okay, I've got them. So the Spain. Argentina final, MetLife Stadium. You said it was 600 something for the game down in Miami.
Yeah, like I'm looking at the ESPN page. It usually has everything.
Okay, I've got this from the secondary market right now. Give me the get-in price Sunday for the World Cup final.
$4,200.
Foolish, Tim. Foolish. Yeah, that and almost double. $7,451. The average price.
Jeepers.
The average price is $11,327. This is only the second time Spain has ever made it to the final. And for Argentina, yeah, they won last time. This is the last time you'll see your guy.
And that's in a football stadium. Those are massive. This isn't MSG where it's you've got a great seat, even if it's a bad seat.
No, Tim. The point is, like, people. Like, we just don't see how big the world is and how much passion there actually is for this sport. And I give MLS credit because they're chances are if you are looking at soccer highlights, you're going to be hitting your algorithm with a ton of soccer MLS. Hey, we're here. But you're going to watch it and be like, this. It's not quite the same now, is it? So we've got a long way to go. I'm hoping that, 2038? 2038 is the next time that the World Cup could conceivably come back to the United States. Somebody asked Arthur Blank yesterday about it. He's like, I'd love to have that, but I'll be 120 years old. Ha, 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 ha. Okay, you know what? That actually isn't true, because if you're going to be 120 years old, that would mean actually you are 108 right now. When I say 2038, that sounds like, oh my gosh, we got to wait that long. Dude, that's only 12 years from now. That's it. Where the Olympics, it's a struggle to get cities to step up for what the IOC wants and demands, and part of it is, hey, you've got to build all these little one-off sporting kind of venues that your city or town doesn't have. And I've been of the opinion that the IOC, can we just become a little more smart with our finances and not shake down every country and just come up with a rotation like London, Beijing, Los Angeles, somewhere else. All right, that would be your summer games, and then you could do the same thing. Italy, France, Salt Lake City. Like, just use the facilities you have, and then once every 20 years, you will get an Olympics. I think that would be smart. And if somebody else wants to step up in a different way, let them. But we are built for this. We are built for the World Cup. I didn't know how this would all kind of play, and I think it's not just been a success. I think it's been a smashing success. Now, I say this, we got still – I should correct myself. You were playing Stat Boy yesterday, and the sports updates all day yesterday. I'm like, well, we have 2 more games coming up in the World Cup. Today, it's Argentina against England. No,
yeah.
I'm making fun of it. Yeah, no, actually, technically the 3. I forgot about the consolation game. Think how dumb the consolation game is. That would be like the NFL. Hey, the Buffalo Bills, sorry. Yeah, that 4th down pass to Dalton Kincaid incomplete. Well, it's going to be the Chiefs and the Eagles in the Super Bowl. Sorry, Buffalo. Oh, but wait. You're playing in the 3rd place game, Buffalo, against Washington. Washington didn't beat Philadelphia. It's absurd, right?
Make that game for the 4th overall pick, and you're on. But just to have it, no thanks.
No, thank you. No, it's like
worse than a preseason game.
Yeah, the greedy NCAA figured out, like, no, we don't need or want a consolation game. What are we doing? But if you're telling me right now that people are paying $600 a ticket down in Miami to watch England and France, well, I get it. You're over from France. Hey, I don't want to go back up my vacation short. Let's go down into the weekend and let's go down to South Beach and take a little bit of that in. Yeah, FIFA has this figured out. We're all kind of captive there. 585-866-4326. There is one sport that cannot get out of their own way, making more mistakes. Like I want to say good things about this league, and they make it very, very hard. We've got that. We got time for your calls as well. 585-866-4326. My name is Gene Battaglia. It's WGR Rochester.
Sports Update.
Sabres schedule is out. Buffalo to have 5 straight home games in October, starting with that one on the home opener and the third against Chicago. Team also home the day after Christmas against Detroit. Scott Mosier and Neil Conway, new assistant coaches for the Rochester Americans. Marty Baron giving us more on Mosier.
But he definitely has worked in a lot of different roles and capacity at the youth level, college level, international level. So he brings in a lot of experience, and this is going to be, from my personal view, a really good fit with what is Michael Leone and Nathan Page's group.
Conway will coach the goalies. One game in the major leagues tonight. The Mets playing in Philadelphia against the Phillies. The Red Wings back at it tomorrow, hosting Jacksonville. Gene Battaglin, the sports leader, 95.7 FM, AM 950, WGR Rochester.
Straight up with no chaser. You're in the Sports Bar with Gene Battaglia on the Sports Leader, 95.7 FM and AM 950 WGR, Rochester.
Yeah, if there's another consolation game in sports that we're missing, Pete called in and said, hey, the NCAA. I'm like, yeah, no, we mentioned that. It's a little bit before my time. But thankfully they kind of got rid of that, right? Like, it's not going to draw me as a viewer to watch the losers of the semifinal. Welcome back to the Sports Bar. Gene Battaglia with you. Olympics, of course, that's the one thing because somebody's got to get the bronze. Sabres schedule, as you mentioned, is out, and I think it's really, really fun that Thanksgiving weekend you can go back to back to back. Wednesday night, Sabres home against the Rangers. Thanksgiving night, did we forget? I didn't forget. Bills at home against Kansas City. And then Friday, Sabres Penguins on Black Friday. Well, that's you're just hoping for one of those games around Thanksgiving weekend to get them both. That's a solid. The NHL kind of did Buffalo there. Washington only coming in for one, so the Alex Tuck game will be on March 18th. I say Alex Tuck because they'll do some sort of tribute video at that point, I'm sure, just like they will for Bo Byram from last year.
Will Devin Levi get one?
No, I think that doesn't even get a mention. Like, will Devin Levi, well, I guess this year you can dress 3 goalies. Like, that's kind of the thing. He'll be on the team for Edmonton. I'm hoping that's December 10th. Imagine Devin Levi starting against the Sabres and winning.
I can.
I can too. I feel like you and I are kind of alone on this island. Like, no, I don't think the Sabres got this right. Nope. Colton Ellis, he's so much fun. Oh, look at him. His helmet came off. Look at him flopping around. Okay, that's the ceiling there. What's the ceiling for Devin Levi? It's so hard to evaluate with ECHL players in front of you, which is what we saw in Rochester. This would be my argument that, hey, maybe, just maybe, players need more time and goalies need more time in the American Hockey League before. Devin Levi another year would have worked well. 585-866-4326 is our number if there's something to add. By all means, do that. We talked earlier in the show today. Reset some of the things. One, and in the update, I didn't give you the World Cup, the open leader. The open leader is Jackson Suber. Okay. I'm not familiar with him whatsoever. But there's a player that birdied 4 of the first 5 and is now in 5th place. Alex Smalley, born in Rochester. Didn't know that. That was one thing about Rochester I didn't know from a sporting standpoint. Now, moved to North Carolina, played for Duke. But I think by Rochester rules, and we make the rules here, he's one of us.
He's ours now.
We claim him. And, of course, one guy we claim, and we love him. He loves us. It's Ernie Clement. Number 1 in terms of votes in the All-Star game. Number 1 in your ballot, number 1 in your heart. Ernie Clement, Toronto Blue Jays, big Buffalo Bills fan. Ernie Clement sat down with Jeff Passan and talked about what it means to tailgate for the Buffalo Bills. There's something in this soundbite I had no idea about.
Walk me through the tailgate.
It's so much fun. We have a great crew. Drinks flow pretty good. The beers are going. The wedges are going. That's a Rochester thing.
Oh, yeah. Can you tell people about the wedges who might not be familiar?
Yeah, a little vodka, a little Fresca, OJ in there. That's kind of a staple in Rochester. I'm more of a blue light guy, though. If I start drinking vodka at 8 a.m., it's going to be a bad day.
If you start drinking beer at 8 a.m.,
yeah, it's going to be a great day.
It's going to be a delightful
day. Exactly.
A staple in Rochester. If I went into any Bill Gray's tap room right now and I said, hey, give me a wedge, they'd be like, okay, our golf simulator's over there, sir. Like, no, I'd be like, I want a wedge. I want it to drink. I had never heard of that. But then again, I'm not going to Oak Hill, and he's a member there, and I've been to the Pittsford pub, but I'm not ordering that. So for Ernie Clement, a Rochester staple, I'm like, okay, maybe in his circle of friends, but I had never heard that. And I quizzed people today. And you were the first one, Tim. First 7 people I asked, like, what's a wedge in terms of drink? Blank face. But it's a different world. Like, one time, like, I've been to Oak Hill. I've been to CCR. It's a different world once you step beyond that. And I don't know this for sure, but knowing how much Ernie Clement loves the golf, do you really think Ernie Clement just kind of went back up to Toronto and slept in last 2 days? Or maybe, just maybe, he sees the Jays schedule and says, oh, okay, we're playing the White Sox on Thursday. You know what? It's a great way for me to get in around maybe on Wednesday, maybe today.
A real slight detour from Philadelphia back here.
Yeah, that's it. Like, come back to Rochester. Is Ernie Clement in town? I mean, we have a cell phone number, but I'm not calling it. By the way, also to recap the show here today, Dan DeLorean was coming back from his vacation in San Diego. He's at the airport. The guy, he sees baseball cap, sunglasses, big frame. Dan's a Viking fan. He's like, that's my head coach. It's Kevin O'Connell, but he's with his family. So that's one of those, do you say, hey, coach, Skol? Dan DeLorean didn't do either. He just kind of snapped the picture. He put it up on his social. You're just like, okay, well, hopefully that's not the highlight of your Viking season, seeing Kevin O'Connell at the San Diego airport.
I saw the photo of him, and I assume it to be him, but it would be really funny if this ends up being like one of those SVP bits where, like, where in the world isn't Kevin O'Connell and it's somebody else?
It's somebody else. I mean, we have to acknowledge that fact that maybe, perhaps, but as you pointed out, sunglass guy in an airport, all right, you're like, either you're really, really into yourself or you're just you're trying to protect your privacy, and then I'm thinking it was him. 585-866-4326. The WNBA can't get out of its own way. So this report from Sports Business Journal in the latest, WNBA can't do things right. Adam Silver, NBA commissioner, having to step in and implore, as the, implore. When you say implore, you're like, okay, I can't tell you to do this. I can't say this any more clearer. You need to do this. Imploring WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert. She didn't get it right. She needs to suspend Alyssa Thomas for clubbing Caitlin Clark in the throat. You see that video, and it's like, whoa, that's not a basketball play. Like, that deserves punishment. And in the article, this is what they say, quote, sources close to Engelbert have said that she's in an unenviable position, trying not to show favoritism to the uber-popular Clark while also trying to appease players who believe they've been overshadowed by Clark. Oh, my gosh. This tone was set right off the bat by Taurasi, and I forget who else they were on. But it's the day after the NBA draft, and basically they're just shooting down Caitlin Clark. Like, we don't need to be exalting her and doing false praise and everything, but if she is the player that has gotten to X number of assists through a season and a half, the most in the league and league history, granted the league doesn't go back that far, but that's saying something that not only is she has the star power, she's backing it up. Oh, and also she was really hurt last year. So Caitlin Clark does bring you that star power. The WNBA can't get this right. They need to protect their stars. And when they don't, that's when you have Congress writing the commissioner letters. Why is this woman still in charge of this league? Somebody else needs to be in charge of the WNBA. That would have been the right time for the owners to say, you know what, we got our labor agreement done. You remember how that was touch and go, and how the players had all these list of grievances, and all right, and one of them was just nobody likes this leadership. And for Kathy Engelbert, she can't seem to be setting the tone. It's a league that has a big problem with their messaging. Right? The focus should be the action on the court. The focus should be on some of these talented players. And yet the outside noise has taken over everything here. And sometimes you can't fend off all the outside noise. It will always be there. But good leadership would get you back to where it needs to be. And by not suspending Alyssa Thomas for punching Caitlin Clark in the throat, that leads you to ask the question, why? Why? That's not a basketball play. What are we even doing here? Because we don't want to show favoritism. No, you're going the other direction.
Yeah.
Showing that. So another thing too, and as I'm preparing this take, then this story comes across because, hey, for the WNBA, okay, it's the Thursday night after the All-Star game, and you have a team in New York with some star power playing Paige Buckers in Dallas. Oh, wait, no, you don't. Apparently, the charter plane for New York had issues, and therefore, tonight's game has been postponed till Monday. Okay, now, number one, it's good that we have charters for a professional sports league like every other league. This should have been happening from the get-go. But you mean to tell me there wasn't any other charter anywhere that could have gotten this team from A to B? It's not like New York City or this whole Eastern Seaboard has had this major weather event. Granted, we're under smoky skies right now. 212 is the index, by the way. Very unhealthy, the air quality in Rochester. We're living in Los Angeles right now. That's cheap. If the one charter is having problems, okay, that happens. Then you know what? Get on the horn and see what other plane they can give you so you can get to your game on time. Because if you're postponing games for silly reasons like that, it's hard for me to take you that seriously. 585-866-4326 is the number. The Sabres schedule did come out today, and it's not like the NFL schedule. It's not the, oh, wow, we're playing 3 games in 11 days, or, hey, we're on this many primetime games. I've yet to see the primetime kind of calendar, and maybe they're still kind of working that portion out. But I think it's cool that the Sabres have some dates around the holidays, particularly the day before and the day after Thanksgiving. That's big. I like the fact that, all right, each year there are 2 major road trips, one being to the West Coast to face your Sharks, your Kings, your Ducks, the other being to Western Canada to face your Jets, your Flames, your Canucks. You throw in the crack in there. You're getting those out of the way. By mid-December, those trips are over. So I like the fact that you're really not going that far. You're not putting that in February or anything like that. I like the fact that, hey, if the Sabres need points at the end of the season, and chances are they will, it's not going to be this path where the team wins and wins and wins. Maybe it is. But I'm going to say that probably Florida's improved this year. I'm going to say that probably Toronto will put forth a better effort than they did last year. Tampa Bay is not going to go away. Not sure what to make of Boston. I don't think that they're going to fade away. But the idea that 4 of the last 5 games of the regular season, all in April, are at home. Okay. Then if you need the points, there they are. Gobble them up. So my initial reaction to the Sabre schedule is, cool. But please don't be that person. And if you are, just ask yourself, is it really smart to put on social media, is it October yet? The answer is no. The answer is summer in Western New York is awesome. And so too is fall. But don't wish your time away. Last call is for you. 585-866-4326. My name is Gene Battaglia. This is Sports Bar here on WGR Rochester.
Rochester Sports Talk. You're in the Sports Bar with Gene Battaglia on the Sports Leader. 95.7 FM and AM 950 WGR, Rochester.
Make sure you listen to Scoop and the Bulldog, that nationally renowned afternoon drive show out of Buffalo. It's only so many times I can mention that, like, hey, your announcer guides actually show. Oh, we'll get that fixed. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yep.
I just pressed the buttons.
Yep. Okay, Now I'm like, oh, okay, that's running again incorrectly. Hey, you're listening to the show. You're part of the club. 585-866-4326 is our number. Last call is for you here in the Sports Bar. You can hit us on X, our handle at WGR Rochester, as Brian did. And again, things I didn't know on the show today. All right, Aaron Smalley, golfer, 5 under. He is born in Rochester at the Open. Well, good for him. That's kind of cool, right? Number 2, there's a drink. If you are in the country club scene in Rochester, called a wedge. And a wedge is just simply vodka, Fresca, and OJ. Tim says he's had it with lemonade. I'm suppose either way would work.
Fresca's basically lemonade. I had the non-golf club version.
Yeah, I guess so. So either or. Yeah, it's kind of like it's a fruity drink there. I didn't know. Ernie Clement is into the wedge. Didn't know that drink existed. Didn't know it was as Ernie described it, a Rochester staple. And I didn't know this. Like the discussion, like, okay, for people that can't get enough of the World Cup, okay, it's not the last game. We're going to have actually a consolation game in Miami, France and England. And just kind of like, all right, we've gotten rid of this consolation game in other sports, not named the Olympic Games, right? We used to have this in the NCAA tournament. Brian writing in, I had no idea. Gene, the NFL had a consolation game. It was after the championship game. Detroit won it twice in the 60s. And he's right. The playoff bowl, officially known as the Burt Bell Benefit Bowl, was a postseason game for third place in the National Football League, played 10 times between the years 1960 and 1969 in Miami. And I see like where maybe Miami was trying to do this. Miami didn't have the Dolphins at that time, like in 1960. So good on that they recognized, hey, like we need to get more football there. I'm just surprised that somehow they figured this out. I guess the professionals are paid just like a playoff game. Like, okay, one more game. I can't even imagine like a consolation game today in the NFL, how far the NFL has gone, but had no idea. Thank you, Brian, for writing in on that. One thing that we predicted, but I didn't think it was going to be this bad, was, hey, we love the Home Run Derby. The Home Run Derby is fun. The Home Run Derby, we don't take this too seriously, right? That's kind of like it's the best of everything an All-Star weekend week has to offer across the 4 sports. Well, by moving it to Netflix, people that are casual sports fans that maybe forgot this was on and maybe aren't logging into their Netflix or whatever it is, you're going to lose audience here. Home Run Derby for Netflix drew 5.3 million viewers. To put this into context, that makes it the lowest rated Home Run Derby in 23 years. 2003. You've got to go back to that, which, if you're baseball, I hope for your sake that the dollar figure was worth it to lose that much audience. However, if you break it down just a little further, and this isn't a surprise, that the numbers here for the younger audience were better than the older audience. And that's not a surprise, right? Like, does every 70-year-old baseball fan have Netflix? Probably not. Are they going to go out and get it just because of the Home Run Derby? Probably not. So, all right, there's always a positive, I suppose, when we're discussing numbers and whatnot. So the Home Run Derby on Netflix, yeah, that's not really good. Tim, I want you to do me a favor.
I can do that.
Google Matteo Pulcini.
Okay.
Do you know who Matteo Pulcini is?
No, but I know how to spell it because I'm good at words, but I found it.
All right, I will describe who he is and why we're bringing him up. So he is in the Open this week, and he's from Argentina. And Matteo Pulcini gets on hole number 18 and he's 6 over, but he hits a 40-yard shot for birdie. And then in front of a mainly English crowd, when you actually, after all, you're in England, he does the same celebration of cupping the ears just like Enzo Fernandez did after getting that goal in the 85th minute. That one that tied it up. But the thing about Matteo Pulcini is, dude has a gut. I thought, like, this, the day and age of the fat golfer, we were done with this. Like, your John Daly's of the world weren't going to be a thing anymore. I mean, he's not like Daly size, but that guy he's carrying around the goiter. That's impressive. Like, that birdie puts him to 5 over. So, hey, good luck on your round tomorrow there, Matteo.
Yeah, the only one he made, and he was actually quoted, I was expecting a few of them, but it's part of the fun. And
I can respect that you kind of did that, and you're having some fun, I suppose. And
good way to end the day.
Good way to end the day. I just find it like golf was the one sport where you could see guys that maybe were out of shape but knew how to swing a club. You don't see this quite often in sports in general anymore. Like, who are like the guys that maybe like major league pitchers, you look at a few of them and like particular relievers, like, all right, maybe that guy could drop a few. I mean, offensive linemen have to carry that weight in football. I mean, but this is like, that's somebody like, oh, like right now, that is a total dad bod on display there from Matteo Pulcini.
There might be some deeper stories into this because he's an amateur and he doesn't look young. So he might be one of those qualifiers like they've got, Michael Block was. Like, I can look up how old he is, but he does not look like he's a college-aged golfer. He looks like somebody who has a family. And if that's an even better story, if that's a guy making a name for himself in that way.
Yeah, look, and again, he's only 25. So
okay,
he's just
surprised me.
Yeah, he's just trying to have like a little bit of fun there. Yeah, no, you Tim, I'm not going to fault you for thinking the guy was older because guy looks older. Like 25, dude, you should have the metabolism to whatever. What is your diet like at age 25 to be looking like that as a finger quote professional athlete?
Well, he's not. He's an amateur. Saves him.
Dude, okay, he's an amateur, but he's playing over there. 585-866-4326. Back to that promo where they say, you don't take a day off. No, we're taking tomorrow off. Sorry. So we will be back on Monday. And we try to be strategic about this, right? Like, we want to make sure that once training camp opens for the Buffalo Bills, once we get to football season, we ain't going anywhere. So we take off the time when we can. We'll be back on Monday. Now, if you missed any of today's show, if you missed the story from Dan DeLorean about his run-in with Kevin O'Connell, that's strong. We download the Odyssey app. 1 to 3 locally, we're on, and you can listen back to it at your convenience. And, hey, if you're driving outside the signal range, that's also a great way to kind of consume the show. Just download, again, AUDACY to download the app. One of those rare shows we didn't have any guests, so I don't need to thank anybody today. But I will thank Dan DeLorean, I will thank Tim Schneider, and I will thank you for listening. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the World Cup final coming up on Sunday. Enjoy Dodgers-Yankees as well this weekend. My name is Gene Battaglia. Show and the Bulldog coming your way next year on Rochester Sports Leader.
So much action, we couldn't fit it all in one app. Take WGR Rochester and the Sports Bar with Gene Battaglia with you everywhere in the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
From the Barnes Firm Studio, injured in a crash?